Welcome to the final episode of my three-part series on understanding the pathway of radicalization and violence. The past two episodes focused on identity and purpose, and this episode is going to focus in on community. In the wake of every targeted attack, we find out that there's one thing that connects every perpetrator, something that overshadows motivation on a grand scale. That thing is isolation, a breakdown of connections between family, friends, and the community at large. It's isolation that hardens grievances and resentment. It's the isolation that fuels and pushes corrosive and destructive behaviors. This isolation becomes almost cannibalistic, eating away at our sense of self, our empathy for others, our sense of what's real and what's not. That's why isolation has been viewed as torture for centuries. As exasperated as we may get by having to be around or deal with others, as human beings we have to realize that we are social beings. Our ability to create communities and tribes has elevated our ability to survive. However, it's our inability sometimes to recognize the signs of isolation, to develop pathways to break out of it, which creates the spaces for the seeds of violence to be planted and to grow. In parts 1 and 2 of this series, I reiterated the idea that it's not always the message that resonates and connects with people, but rather the intangibles that come with the message that people latch onto. I used the metaphor of filling buckets to illustrate this phenomenon, so it should come as no surprise, much like the bucket of identity and the bucket of purpose, that the bucket of community also needs to be filled. As we've noticed from recent attacks, perpetrators have spent countless numbers of hours on online message boards, chat channels, gaming platforms, etc. These forums, channels, and platforms are their community. The sharing of memes, ironic jokes, hand symbols, fashion statements, coded words, these are all symbols and elements of being part of a club, being part of a community. Identity and purpose can keep life moving, but it's really community that keeps us alive. So to be severed from that isn't just painful, it's crippling. Again, the brain finds it unacceptable to not know what it is, why it is, and who it's connected to, which is why the human need for reinforcement, affirmation, and belonging runs so deep. If left unattended, people will go and seek that sense of community wherever it can be found, often leading to very dangerous and sometimes destructive places. Hopefully now this series has brought about a sense of understanding about those three pillars of identity, purpose, and community, and how those buckets need to be filled. I encourage you now to examine the resources, services, and connections that you have in your office, school, town, and evaluate the effectiveness of those things in filling up those metaphorical buckets of identity, purpose, and community. We know that that is a daunting task, and we are here to help. So if you need help on that type of evaluation or developing those processes and services and resources, please go to tvtpsolutions.com and contact us today.